In 2050 Seoul, an astronaut dreaming of Mars and a musician with broken dreams find each other among the stars, guided by their hopes and love for one another. Film fans YouTube, hello and welcome back to the channel. I am Josh, your Movie Apprentice, and today I am doing a rare look at a Netflix movie. Today I am looking at Lost in Starlight that released this past Friday, directed by Han Ji-won and starring Kim Tae-ri and Kyung. This is a Korean animated film that depicts this genuine love story in the near future as an astronaut and a musician fall in love and chase each other's dreams, overcoming their insecurities and their shortcomings. This is a movie that I watched purely because of the concept and to really fill out my watch list for May. And this is one that I am very glad I watched. I would highly recommend it. Before I get into my review though, if you like seeing on the channel, click the like button and subscribe for more video reviews that's coming all the time. Without further ado, let's talk about this one. So this takes place in the not so distant future, 2050, and the world that this film sets up is an interesting one, as it's not too dissimilar from our own. It very much feels like something that could feasibly be achieved with how rapid human progression has gone. When we consider that 3 decades ago, computers were really slow machines, it was dial-up internet, it was connected to your phone line all the time, to literally having, well, I'm recording my videos on my mobile device. So the way this film uses modern technology but enhances it. So your phone is an earpiece and it'll pop up with a screen in front of you and be able to scroll through everything like that. Drones help carry packages for delivery drivers, but there's still a decent amount of manual labor taking place in the world. I really like this near future world that the film creates. It doesn't feel too outside the realms of possibility. We're not going to get to 2050 and not see a lot of this come into place, I feel. So props to this film for giving us a world that feels very realistic, even though it is set in the future. Also, this is just a gorgeous film to look at. I'm a sucker for animation, especially for Eastern animation. It just tells beautiful stories, and this film does a lot of those sort of things you'd expect from an Eastern animation. And yes, it does get very heavy-handed on the feels train aspect in the last 20 minutes, to the point where it becomes a little bit overbearing and doesn't have as much impact had it just peeled back a little bit on the heavy-handedness. But in terms of the visuals of this movie, how you can interact with people on FaceTime, you basically holograph yourself into their homes and you can interact with what's in their room like you're actually there. It is insane technology, and seeing this digital hologram technology interact with the real world, especially when two individuals are interacting with each other, I thought it was very well done. But the core of this movie is reliant on the two lead characters. We have an astronaut who has been removed from the next expedition because they are all coping almost too well with their connection to a previous astronaut that died on a previous mission. And as they go on their mission to try and get their place back aboard the space shuttle, they meet an individual musician, an independent musician that's kind of given up on the role of trying to be a musician. And the way the relationship develops, it feels so natural, from first introductions to the held back nature of committing to a relationship, to their first kiss, the first time they sleep together, to the development of the relationship throughout the film's runtime. It felt very natural. I love their chemistry. I loved how they conflict with each other. I wasn't always one would have to apologize to the other. It would be a case of meeting in the middle most of the time when it comes to their conflicts. And that is something that is so refreshing. A relationship where they don't have to be completely okay with what each other is doing, but there's a sense of communication, collaboration, and just genuine trust between the two that doesn't have such sweet and intimate moments. When we get into the latter half of the movie, and we get into the culminations of the musician plot thread and the astronaut plot thread, it does go heavy handed with its narrative in terms of trying to get an emotion out the audience. Whilst it didn't break me because of how consistent it was still very effective, I felt. And I will say as well that the music in this is really good. There is Music in this from a variety of artists that flows so well into the film, both diegetically and as background music. It worked so well and it played an important part of the story as a whole. Lost in Starlight is a gorgeous animated film that should be seen by more. I am really bummed that we did not get to see this on the big screen. It was a Netflix release because some of these visuals would have looked fantastic in a dark room with a massive screen and them surround sound speakers. My only issues really are just the hurried nature of the finish and all the manipulative way that the score and the scenes played out to try and force an emotional response out the audience where it didn't need to go as heavy handed with it because I was fully there. Had it toned back a couple of the scenes a bit or kept it to one or two scenes, because it was like 4 or 5 scenes back to back, all depicting something different. I was supposed to get an emotional response out of the audience. It's definitely a solid movie and it's well worth checking out on Netflix if you have the time. Before I get into my grade, if you like what you've seen on the channel so far, make sure you click that like button and subscribe for more video reviews that's going all the time. Without further ado, let's grade this. Lost in Starlight gives us a near future that feels very real to what could potentially be the near future. It gives us a genuine relationship that feels natural and realistic, even in this near future setting. Its manipulation on the emotions can be a bit heavy handed at times, but it is a visually gorgeous movie with a great soundtrack and great chemistry between its two lead characters. I'm gonna have to say that for me, Lost in Starlight is a good cup of tea. So Lost in Starlight, have you seen it? If you have, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below and make sure you subscribe for more video reviews like this one coming all the time. But until next time, everybody, I am Josh, I have been Movie Apprentice, and I'll see you all in the next video.